What's going on? Hello, people. This evening I'll be talking to Jamai. Jamai has been on NBC's The Voice, and he's like a dynamic musician. He plays, I don't know how many instruments we're going to find out when he comes on here. What's going on, Pace for One? It's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's well. We're just waiting for Jamai to come in the room. I hope everybody's well, blessed, and highly favored. But please go page. There's a whole slew of other interviews that I don't have on Instagram that I have on YouTube. I've been doing this kind of for a minute. So there are interviews that aren't on here. Definitely check them out. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm trying to grow. Help me grow. Hope everybody's doing well. And the man of the hour is here. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Jamal, I've been having problems with people logging on here. So let me see. You know what? I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to send you an invite and see what happens. Did you receive that?
You a
There we go.
brilliant man.
How are you,
I'm
sir?
great, man. I'm glad we got it to work.
Hold on for a second because I'm a little low. There we go. All right. How's your life?
Life is awesome, man. Life is life. Life be life, man. But to God be the glory, bro. How are you?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Uh, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as yourself, you understand what it means for people to acknowledge what you do, and so I'm just truly grateful. And it's like we known each other for years, but we never really connected. And you kind of like
Right.
it's like you disappeared for a minute, and then you like
Mhm.
just pop back up. So I'm glad that like we made it work in due time. You know what I mean? Thank you, man, for
So,
having me.
I mean, and that's important because that's a part of life, and those are the things that I like to expose. You know how it is when you're creative and you're trying to get yourself together. Sometimes you got to pull away and you have to reinvent yourself and then come back or retool and come back. You know how it
For
goes.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. I totally get that, and like the mental health capacity is like something that wasn't taught about when I was in my teens and 20s, and
Hmm.
I ain't never really care about that. But when that weight is on you, and
Hmm.
it continues to be hard, you gotta really step away from everything, not just social media, but you gotta step away from a lot of things, just to kind of
Right.
define what your value and what your purpose is. You know what I mean? So I
Yep.
totally get it. And you back better than ever. Look at you. Just saying, you thriving, brother. You thriving.
Listen, I do what I can with the Lord's assist. And I can't complain about that. So you're the man of the hour. We're going to talk about you. So, like you said, it's been years and I've been wanting to talk to you for a while because I think that you're a dynamic artist. Um, you set yourself apart from anyone, and I know a lot of artists. I think that you set yourself apart from most of the artists that I know simply because I'm going to describe it the best way that I can. You come in on angles and you come in hot and you come in sharp. That's the way I see it. And I appreciate that because it's different.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about your beginnings and how you fell in love with art.
You said talk to you a little bit about your beginnings. You breaking up a
About
little.
your beginnings and how you fell in love with art.
My beginnings, from a creative perspective, I've always loved music and I've always sang. I used to go to church because I like to hear the choir sing and I like to dress up. And I think that was the start of it. I never thought that I could be an artist. I never thought that I sang good or that being a musician was even a possibility until I was around maybe the 8th or ninth grade and I won like a talent show and like something bit me, man. And I just been, I worked on my first demo when I was 14, going on 15, and I have been off running ever since then. Like I just decided that this is what I want, and the more I sought after it, the more I desired it. And so it's been over 20 years, man. I've been diligently, independently, just going after the dream, man, and it's kicked my ass for sure. But I'm still here, man. I'm still here. So I'm,
Absolutely.
I'm
So, what
excited.
did you? When did you learn how to play instruments? Did the vocal part come first, or the instrumentation come first?
Yeah, I always tell people I'm a singer that can play piano. I'm a singer that can play guitar, and I'm a singer that can dance. I'm a singer by heart. I'm a singer by just the vocal and the sound. You know, I didn't start playing guitar until I was maybe 23, 24. Uh, and I started piano a few years after that.
Mm,
And basically, unlike most people, you know, they raised in church. I wasn't really raised in church. I started going to church because I loved and I just got saved at a younger age. And I just always went to church on my own. But it wasn't church that got me into music or the musicianship, although it was something that helped hone my craft. But I
mm,
started instruments later in life. And I started Guitar for Dummies. I just every day.
mm,
I'm I'm a I'm a creative person, but I think I have like a very OCD, like 9 to 5 type way of thinking and living. So like a
mm,
book for me that is in order that I can go page by page in chronological order, that works for me. And
mm,
so
mm,
that kind of taught me how to play guitar. And the more you learn, the more you realize there's more to learn. And so that's kind
mhm,
of how it played out for me. I started playing guitar because I wanted to look badass on stage like Prince and Lenny Kravitz. Seriously,
mhm.
I wanted to do guitar solos. Like I'm a performer. It's like what's better? I didn't even want to play piano because I was like, you gotta sit down. Like I love John Legend, or Alicia Keys. I didn't want to like always be sitting down. Like
Right,
I wanted to be
right.
shredded. And then when I fell in love and realized the beauty of piano, I love it just as
Mhm.
much. So yeah, man.
But what's crazy to me is the fact that when you play guitar, it does not sound at all like you learned it from a book.
Like,
Like I have to minimize it that way because when you hear the end result, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And thank you. But I think like I don't know how much of music theory or it's just like anything else. You gotta learn the foundations, and
Hmm.
like anybody can be gifted, but you a bad mug if you learn the fundamentals and then you add your gift on top of the fundamentals. You know what I mean? And I'm still in that stage of learning the fundamentals, but I do know that, like, okay, you got an ear, okay, you can hear harmony, okay, you like to hear them brandy, you like to do them brandy like background vocals, or you trying to do them, this person runs, but let's put some foundation up under it. And if you could do that joint with a guitar, acoustic, or you know what I'm saying, like it takes it up to the next level. So,
Right.
you know,
So, I mean, I know a little bit about music, and the fact that you now pulled in instrumentation into your vocality, it makes you a better singer.
I
And it
agree.
also makes you a better instrumentational person, you know, just because both skill sets kind of complement each other.
For sure. The guitar, especially lead guitar, is the closest to the vocal as you can
Mm.
get as an instrument. And it just opens your ear up to hear new things another type of way. And more than anything, one of the biggest reasons I started learning guitar was because I couldn't find dependable musicians. I have been flaked
Mm.
on musicians so many times. And I just got fed up, man. I was like, everything I've ever done in my life, everything I've ever done in my career has always been by me picking up from the ground up and saying, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna figure it out. My first
Right.
demo, I paid for it with Christmas money. You know, I bought a Guitar for Dummies book and said I'll give myself a year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I couldn't afford to pay producers or for studio time, so I started working on my own studio. And I think I couldn't find choreographers, or dancers flaked on me, so I made up my own choreography. Couldn't afford videographers or editors, so I learned how to edit my videos. You know what I mean? It's like if you waiting, bro, you'll be waiting forever, man. And if you got a vision,
True.
you gotta figure it out. And I just been trying to figure this shit out for a couple of days.
Absolutely.
Real rap.
No, and that's some real stuff. And I've talked to some pretty established artists, and hearing their beginnings, sometimes not even beginnings, you know, their nows. This is the struggle that they have. You know, it's an ongoing thing, and it's how you navigate it and how much heart and energy you put into
For
it.
sure. And
Yeah.
and I try to be grateful because, I have the ability. God has given me the ability to, if you don't know something, God gave me the ability to follow through. You know, the ability to, like, okay, you don't have it now, but follow through with it. Keep going at
Hmm.
it. You know what I mean? And I think beyond talent, we see so many people in music or just in life that have potential, but they don't follow through. Like, you
That's
could
true.
do anything. If I wanted to right now become something totally, I could go to law school and be a lawyer. I could do it if I follow through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
it's just a matter of follow through and whatever. I could go on and on about that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's my religion. You know what I mean?
Implement and follow through is what my dad used to always say.
It's a hard thing.
When
It's hard.
yeah, and it's not easy, especially with something like being in the entertainment industry where you get so much resistance. You get more resistance than you get open arms. And if you don't become accustomed to the resistance and understand what it is and put it in its place, you can be defeated really
For
quickly and
sure.
easily.
For sure. There's no doubt about it. You will indeed meet resistance before you
Mhm.
meet acceptance. And a lot of times, even after acceptance, there's still more resistance. But that's just life. You know what I mean? So we all trying to figure it out, man.
So when you were younger, who was your inspiration?
Musically or
Hmm. Well, no, because it doesn't necessarily have to be musically, because someone can inspire you, but it triggers your artistic talents. So I'm going to say anyone. I'm going to leave it open.
I think well, it's funny. I'll say this because uh you know how you hear music and it's nostalgic and it takes you back to a time. My answer
Mhm.
with questions like this in interviews has always been Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce, Usher, Stevie Wonder. All true, all true.
Mhm.
But in my formative years, I fell in love with Music Soul Child, man. I remember,
Mm.
uh, so like me, you know, they say like the most influential time for you musically is like your preteen teenage years. And so
Mhm.
in middle school, it was people like Tank, Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, that neo soul era, the early 2000s,
Mhm.
me in middle school.
Mhm.
And I remember every Music Soul Child album that he dropped within that 4 or 5 year span. Haven't heard him in years. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, but like Music Soul Child was probably I was the most I was the most I don't know how to say this, but the most of a sponge at that era in my life. Like I was like
Mm. Mhm.
retaining so much musically at that time. And I think I
Mhm.
never said that in an interview, and I just wanted to acknowledge that like Music Soul Child was like a huge influence for me. And then like later on in high school, John Legend came out. Remember John Legend was like he was like the first dude
Mhm.
that sounded like he was from church and that what he was doing R&B. You know what I mean? It was like all the churchy boys like we could like we finally
Mhm.
got some R&B songs we could
Right.
sing like. But,
Right.
so it was, yeah. But I would say Music Soul Child. As far as like growing up, inspiration, I would just say the women. And this sounds super cliche, but like my mom was murdered at such a young age, and when she was murdered, I had such a village of women, black women, obviously, but it was just like such a village of women, and like men were there, but like for so many of us, the village was the women, like women that were
Mhm.
not necessarily related to me, but you could to this day tell me that I'm not their nephew or their son or their little brother. Um,
Right.
and I think that's probably was is the biggest inspiration because you know, I was just raised by my grandmother, my great grandmother, all my godmoms and aunties and mom's best friends, and they spoiled me rotten, man. So like that would probably be one of my some of my greatest inspirations, you know, my village.
That's dope. That's pretty good. And from my perspective, I think that the window in which your inspiration comes, especially like when you're artistic, it spreads beyond your years. So the music that you listen to, it's that, but then the music that you listen to with your parents or your grandmom or whomever, that becomes a part of your window because it's something that you're hearing on a regular basis. So all those ingredients go into who you ultimately become or what you ultimately love.
For
One of the
sure.
things that I loved about you brought up Music Soul Child, especially in the beginning with his first single. One of the things that I picked up on and I didn't know what it was at the time, but that I fell in love with his first single was the fact that he made it up as he went along. I didn't find that out until much later on,
Yeah,
but it was something about it. I was like, why does this sound so random? It sounds random, but it's pulling me in. And then I found out later on that he just made it up on the spot.
natural. It was like a natural conversation. Girl, I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yep.
Just
Mm-hmm.
natural conversation. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like
Yep. Yeah.
so for sure, definitely. It was so many songs. Like he had this song called "Previous Cats." I don't know if you heard it. It's on the Just
Mm-hmm.
Listen album, and he do this long
Mm-hmm.
previous. I remember studying that run like all the time, like you know what I mean, like just so many parts of what he, you know, and being from like I'm not from Philly, I'm from Chester, but it's like basically
It's right
10 minutes
there.
south. It's right there, you know what I mean? And it's like this he was from this era, this area, and it was just like a huge thing. And I just remember being obsessed. Like the way that I like eventually like love Beyonce is at one point how I
Mm-hmm.
love Music Soul Child. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And yeah, man, I think those and to your point of like the songs that you heard, you know, but you don't know, like those songs that when Apple Music, when like streaming services came out, I had took the time out
Mm-hmm.
to listen to like all of Stevie Wonder's albums because I love Stevie Wonder, and like just the songs that I might not have ever heard because I'm not buying all these albums. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I
Right.
remember, I like my Stevie Wonder playlist is like so extensive. It's like album cut after album cut after album cut. And I'm watching home videos of when I was a kid, and they got all the Stevie Wonder playing in the background of songs that I didn't know I didn't know I knew. I thought I just was discovering it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you definitely, it's like ingrained in you subconsciously, and I think
Hmm.
I'm just grateful for that. You know.
And that's good. That's awesome. So when did you start performing? What age were you when you got on stage and you realized that there's a connection between you and the audience and that there was a trigger that happened? When did you learn that?
Ninth grade. Ninth grade, I was at a talent show. Me and my best friend at the time, it's like my sister still. We did "The Closer I Get to You" by Beyonce and Luther Vandross. We was the only ninth graders, and we won the talent show. It was all a talent show of all 12th graders. We won first place. And
Wow.
the bug bit me, and I was like, I want to do this. I was like, I want to do this. And I never thought it was possible until that day. It was like, they clapped for me. I won the talent show. Obviously, I'm supposed to be famous. Like it was like the first talent show, the Grammys. Like that's got to be next week. Like you know what I mean? Like that's the next step. So yeah, but yeah, that was the moment, and I've been you know, ambitiously seeking after it, working towards it since that day. You know.
So one of my friends and former coworker received a singing telegram from someone, and you popped up, and you were
Really?
the one to deliver the telegram. And at the time, I think we had crossed paths maybe on a red carpet or something. I know I was in your presence at one point in time, but I don't remember when it happened. And then when she showed me like the video, I was like, I know him. And you did such a wonderful job, as of course you would. But what brilliance is it that you found a job doing what you love to do and also affecting other people? Talk to me a little bit about that and why you decided to go that route.
Truly, truly, it was something. One Valentine's Day in high school, um, I guy came up with this idea, and it was like really to sing to girls like in high school, you know. And then it was like other dudes would give me to sing to their girl, and it was like $20. I was doing it, and this one Valentine's Day, I had got my mom. I called my mom, my grandma mom. I got my mom to she made me these like baskets, like gift baskets. And then I posted, and my dad's a barber, and he got a barber shop. And I posted the little flyer, my number. And at that time, I was a kid, so I think it was cute. I could sing, you know, I was this little boy, you know. And what happened was I started feeling like I was getting too old to do it. And you know how we are as we artists, that's
Hmm.
beneath me, you know, or that's I'm untouchable in a way, you know what I'm saying? But I would do it every once in a while. People call me back every Mother's Day or every Valentine's Day, and it wasn't until after continually seeking out music, you learn
Hmm.
the business, and it wasn't until it just clicked. One year, it just clicked, and I'm like, bro, you sitting on something that you could really make turn into something, you know.
Hmm.
So I went into the business of, you know, the name and the branding and the logo because I had been doing it for years. It was just like when niggas call me, I come through. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I made it a business and J Telegrams, and what ended up happening was once I started to take pride in the brand and the imaging and the separation of Jemai versus J Telegrams, you know, it slowly built more momentum. And
Hmm.
for me, the year before and the year of the pandemic was when it just when now I started doing telegrams for people that I do not know that I have a clientele base where, and that's not completely true. I was doing some of people that I didn't know, but it was where as though I could make a living, I could sustain myself,
Right.
and financially. And 2020 was a huge year for me when the rest of the world was going through financial ruin. It really like it favored me because people were not able to have birthday parties. They weren't able to
Right.
go out to dinner. So I'm showing up on people's lawns. I'm meeting people. People can't travel, so they like, I was just saying to my mom, but I can't fly. All those different things. So,
Right.
and I actually started investing in like social media marketing, and those couple of things coupled is what like really expanded my business to where I could scale it to what it is today.
Right.
And ultimately, man, you find yourself in situations where you truly are being used as a vessel.
Yeah.
This is a gift that I have, and it's something that I do, and I'm doing it to make money and, network and get my name out there. But then you find yourself like, wow, this lady is bedridden and they want to celebrate her birthday, but she can't leave the house. And
Right.
given the fact that I can come to her house and sing to her, or this sibling hasn't talked to this sibling, but they came together to do this for their mom, or this husband about to be divorced from his wife, and now this is added the flare back into their relationship, or this person just lost somebody, or this person is in a terminal illness. People, I've sung for people that are literally on the hospice bed and they just, are people that are stage cancer, stage 4 cancer. And then you start to feel like, damn, it's more of a blessing for me than it is for them. The
Right.
fact that I get the opportunity, and then being an entrepreneur and seeking my career for so long, you just be so grateful that a person is willing to pay you nicely for your gift. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's no bigger. I ain't getting emotional or anything, but it's no bigger support or belief in somebody that's willing to give you a piece, some money for what you do. That's no better way to tell me you believe
Listen,
in me.
you don't have to tell me. I think I might have cried the first time that somebody asked me to come be a host and they actually cut me a check. I was like, this is what I've always wanted. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You want me to come talk and entertain people and make them laugh and smile and feel good,
And
and you're going to pay me for that?
you gonna pay me? Like, bro, such a blessing, man. It's such a
Yeah.
blessing. And then you making people feel good. You are truly,
Hmm.
you are truly being a blessing to people, bro. And I know everybody hear Oprah talk like that, but really, you do not know the true blessing of giving until you give it. Like, you just feel like
Hmm.
the world has been given to you when you bless people, even when people
Hmm.
can't do nothing back for you. And you don't do it for all other things that people do things for people for. But just being a
Yeah.
blessing, man, it feels so good. Like, it really does. So I
Yeah.
get to do that
Absolutely.
and get paid for it. It's crazy. It's insane. It's insane.
So when does the voice come into play?
So, what's crazy is I can say this now, but I had auditioned for all them shows, all for hundreds, not hundreds, but every year for years I auditioned for American Idol, The Voice. Wasn't until I stopped seeking. So I was like, you know what? I ain't going this year. Like, I'm tired of waiting these lines for 6 hours every year. But a friend of mine was friends with a producer of the show, and what they do this thing, which you probably know, is additional casting. So they'll have their auditions, and then they'll
Hmm.
additionally cast because it's a show. Because they need certain amount of this, certain amount of that, It's a show,
Hmm.
and so they was looking for people. They reached out to me, one of the cast and producers, and they flew me out, and I still had to audition for about 3 rounds. uh, before I got to make it to the blind auditions. So that was right after I went to China and I did a club residency tour in China, and then like the next year, which was like that was 2015 into 2016. So the next year was The Voice. So all of 2017, I was sequestered shooting The Voice, and then 2018 is when it aired. So yeah.
What kind of impact did that have for you personally?
Uh, I think more than anything, wow. See, I ain't talked to nobody in a while about this stuff, and I feel like I can tell you, in hindsight now, the real
Hmm.
deal. I think the biggest thing I think I've learned is, and please hear me out when I'm not trying to sound bitter or anything, but the biggest thing I learned is when you diminish yourself, people will. If you diminish your light, then everybody else will. And I only say
That
that
makes sense.
not to blame anybody, but I can remember being on that show and truly being so worried about being fair to my battle partner and helping her. And when I say helping her, I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying, but helping her and doing different things. And I ended up being sent home because Alicia told me that you already have it. There's nothing else I can teach you. And I was kind of upset about that because I'm looking to learn. I'm looking to learn. I'm looking for a
Mhm.
critique. I'm looking for something negative to tell me that I need to work on so I can go home and I can fix that shit and I can be the, you feel me? She's like,
Yes.
I sent you home because what else am I going to teach you? You already have it. She was like, she needs this more than you.
Mm.
That's what she said to me. And I took that as like, that's fluff. You know what I mean? Like, I hear you, whatever. Give me something. Like, give me something to go on with to work on. You feel me? You Alicia Keys. Um,
Right.
but in hindsight, what more how how much more grateful could I be for that app, for that validation or that to be affirmed in that way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And the truth is now I believe that. Now I understand that. Now I know that. You know. So that's probably my biggest lesson. But aside from that, like I told you, I'm a geek. So I've never been on national TV. So I'm looking at how things are ran, and I'm just so fascinated by like the lights and the cameras and the way that TV works. And it works.
Hmm.
It is truly nothing like what the final product is. Like it's a very well put together thing for great entertainment. And I mean that in a
Right.
positive way. But I just watched how that's so cool how they put all this together. You know what I mean? I'm more of
Uh-huh.
a behind the scenes type person that kind of stuff fascinates me. So that and just like I understood also that people, no matter how you feel or what or feel about you, you do have to understand that exposure from a show like The Voice, you can't pay for it.
Right.
You can't pay for it. It just puts you in a position that you could do something every day and get 10,000 people to help you doing it. It won't give you the same exposure as being on a show like something that massive. So
Right.
it made a lot of people, not only did it expose me to a lot of people, but it gave me a little more credibility as an artist and as a J Telegrams and as a businessman. A lot of people want me to
Mm.
sing because you was on The Voice. I want you to sing to my girl. I want you to sing to my mom. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, those are probably my biggest takeaways.
Was it a bit at all overwhelming for you to be in that space? Yeah.
For
How'd you adjust?
for sure. I actually had my first panic attack right before my blind audition because this is me at 27. I've been pursuing music since I was 15. And for it to come down to a moment And that's what I think people don't understand. Shows like The Voice or American Idol, they're not like your real life moments. Your real life moments when you make it are not once you do this, your life change. In real life, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, it's a little step on a little step and a little step. It's never a 0 to 10,000. So to be put under that for the sake of entertainment can be very uh, mentally challenging. And I think I was in that space behind waiting for my moment to walk out. And I just started thinking about my mom. I started thinking about everything that I've sacrificed all these years. And I almost had a panic attack. And I think another reason was because I didn't know what to expect. You don't see your judges. You don't know what that stage looked like. You don't know, they would tell you like, don't be changing the song and doing all the runs, but make it your own. But sing the song. So you don't really know what to do because you're trying to get picked.
Right.
So all those things was running through my head because I'm an overthinker. But by the time the battle round came, by the time my second performance came, I was like, oh, I know what it's like. I know not to listen to this producer. I know to do that, and I'm gonna do me. I'm about to show these niggas. Like by my second performance, I was like, oh, it's my show. It's my time. So I think a lot of the unknown is what was overwhelming for me. But once I broke the ice, I'm like, it's my stage now.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
And that's true about the moment. You know, when you get your moment, they're not normally, bright lights, big city. It's normally not that. It's normally quiet and demure. It's like one of those small chess moves that leads to that big thing that
for
happens.
sure,
And the big thing that happens is normally silent.
for sure, for sure. I totally agree, and I think that the TV, and because it's TV and entertainment, is perceived in movies, and it's perceived like that. But nah, it's little incremental moments that get you to that place, to the next place, to the next place, and then maybe when you turn around and be like, damn. But it's usually never a backstage. And right here, your life is going to change, and somebody's going to say, "Yes, you're good enough," or "You're terrible." That is not how it goes.
No.
Entrepreneur.
And to be totally honest, it's not until you get past the moment and you look back on it and you realize how big it actually was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So to be put in a moment like The Voice, and I give credit to every contestant that has ever experienced it. Actually, one of my closest friends I met on the show is Brittany Spencer, and I'm only bringing this up because I'm so proud of her. But me and her met on the show, and she got not monologue. What's it called? She got what's it called when they didn't show her whole audition, they just show a bunch of people.
Montage.
Montage. She got montage, bro. They didn't know this was Kelly Clarkson first season. They didn't Kelly, it was Kelly and Alicia. It was Alicia's last season and Kelly's first season. And Blake and Adam. Brittany got montage. And so many of my other friends that I met. But me and Brittany that's probably the closest person that I was with on the show. Me, Brittany, Carly, and somebody I was dating at the time. But she got montage. And like she literally on Beyonce album. Like she's literally on Cowboy Carter. So it's like you can't let those things define you. And what's crazy is a couple of weeks ago she was performing on a Kelly Clarkson show. And I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder if she like, yeah, nigga, you remember when you ain't pick me? Like, you ain't pick me, but I'm on your show. Like,
you know what? Behind the curtain and when the lights and stuff are off, I don't want to say that none of that matters, but it really doesn't matter. If you're revered and you can work and you have the heart and the energy, you can just get fired from a gig and then someone backstage will be like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I got this gig. Can you come work with me? Your career has started. That's
for sure.
That's how it goes.
That's so true. And That's so true, man. So I'm in that space where I recognize what that show did for me and how much of a blessing it was for me, and
Hmm.
I'm just I'm hyper aware. Awareness is so key, man, because you do have to trust God and believe in God's favor and the blessing in the moment. But you gotta do the work, man. You gotta work and you gotta learn and you gotta really put yourself in a position to make it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I admire about you is that you have a solid team. Like your team, however, whatever magic you guys do on your end, when we look at it, it's seamless. It seems like pure perfection. I know that's not a reality, but you do so well that it's that way. How there is no talent. It takes two people to make stuff happen. You have an awesome
Hold
team.
on, hold on. You break it up. You break it up. You break it up. I feel like you said. I feel like you're saying a lot of grades, but you break it up.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I feel like a commercial. I still break up.
You like completely cut out right now. So
Am I? I can hear
yeah.
you.
You can hear me?
Uh-huh.
All right. Was like the first clear thing. All right.
What
Say
about
something
now?
one more
Can you hear me
time.
now?
I can't hear you.
Something one more time. Okay. We good?
All right.
Okay. So I was talking about your team.
Okay.
When people, step out, um, there's a perception that everything's perfect, everything's good. Um, one man is island, but that's not the case. It needs a team in order for someone to look that perfect. I want to commend you for having a great team because every time you step out, every time that you perform, every time you do a video, your look, like everything is detailed. It's almost perfection, if not perfection. Talk a little bit about your team and the work that you put into developing your team to develop your image and your persona.
Well, thank you. I think it's interesting you say that because the truth of the matter is, I really don't have a team,
Really?
and I really don't have a team. I have my manager, uh, B Shape, and he. That's just about as far as my team extends. The truth of the matter is, that's such a compliment because when I tell you, when I shoot videos or when I do projects or when I do things, it literally takes everything within me because I don't have any financial backing, so everything comes like literally out my pocket. And
Mm-hmm.
every I have a stylist that she'll make clothes for me that
Mm-hmm.
I've had a relationship with, and I have a videographer that I've worked with for a long time. And for the most part, though, everything that is made is a fabric or a design that I've designed, and every shot that you see is a shot that I directed, and I edit all my stuff. I color correct all my stuff. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I edit all my stuff. I color correct, and then every set that you see has literally been me. I started a show, which it's been I have some episodes coming, but I have started a show called My Life, My Looks, My Music,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it is the behind the scenes of me creating my content and my stuff that I create. And I wanted to do that because I'm from the era of like artists that are kind of not tangible of the Beyonce era, like where like feel comfortable going live all day and just being showing everybody my whole life and everything I do.
Mhm.
This is a way for me to show my personality, show what interests me, and show the things that I do. Because the truth of the matter is, like, it really isn't a lot much to me as a person, my personality. I'm just about just all my work, so it's not like I'm pretty boring outside of my work. You know what I'm saying? So like, this way I'm able to give people behind the scenes while still keeping some mystique or some uh decorum or privacy, if you will. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I kind of go into that. I go into how when I build these sets, how it takes me weeks at a time, and how trivial or tedious it is to edit and color correct it. How I had to buy 1,000 styrofoam balls and spray paint each one of them myself and glue them on the joint by my. I'm very much uh, doing this alone. And so that's why it's really difficult to streamline content so consistently, because it's hard to come up with something every day if it take you weeks to do one thing. Because the other thing is, you would prefer quality over quantity. So I'm not interested in posting something every day or releasing something every week if it's not going to represent me well. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but I appreciate that. But if you're referring to like the Wanded Up music video or my 10 Million Reasons video or my Weed Man video, those were all sets that I built, videos that I edited myself, songs that I produced myself, mixed myself, uh, the outfits that I either purchased or designed or styled myself. And I'm forever at the fabric store. I'm forever hanging shit up. I'm forever stapling something, brainstorming. Like, that's activity out. And it's also my way of making sure my songs don't die. Like, we release
Mhm.
songs and people consume songs, but as artists, we don't get to really live out all of our songs, and we don't really get to illustrate what our vision is for the song all the time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, that was a long,
No, it's
but
all
I'm with them.
right. Perfect.
Talk about my work.
So,
My bad.
the reason why I named my show Conversations with Kevin, because I
You
like
break
to
it
have
up again. You break
conversations.
it up. Say it again.
I said, again, leave things open for actual conversation. It's not so much an interview, it's a conversation. So we can go back and guess he cut out. Welcome to life. Because this is real life. I'm going to try to get him back. Hold on, people. Do you know in all the years that I've been doing this, this is the first time that this has happened. Do I have people still in the room? I'm hoping that it wasn't a total crash. Maybe he just lost signal. We'll see. I hope y'all enjoying the conversation thus far. He's see if I can get him back in. You know, and to be honest, if you go back and look at some of my previous interviews, I don't know. I kind of like stuff raw. I like stuff with the glitches and the hiccups and the giddy ups because this is real life. part of me talking to the people that I talk to is due to being inspired by something they do or they say or how they live or the art that they create. It actually inspires me. So I'm inspired. And things being not so perfect. You there, brother? There we
Oh
go.
man, I'm sorry, man. Maybe if I hang up, because I couldn't.
No. Don't worry about it. And that's part of the whole thing, right?
Oh, that's
So
so much
one
better.
of the things one of the things that I love is real life. And this is real life. This is what happens. I'm not editing it, I'm not cutting it out. It's something that happens.
That's how I go. But
So
yeah.
what I was going to touch on is the fact that I entitled this Conversations with Chike Evans because I don't really like to look at it as an interview per se. It's like I'm not asking you questions and you're giving me answers to the questions. I would like for us to have dialogue to go back and forth. And something that you said earlier brought up a conversation that I was having with someone else about artists being elite and not coming out with stuff, back to back and, staying aloof for a while. Let's talk about the music industry now and what's going on with it being a singles market as opposed to an album market. Because I remember being a kid and waiting years for another Michael Jackson CD, an album, a record to come out, and the anticipation of it all. And this is when you receive the lines at the record store because people had been waiting for so long, and it created this fanfare and this big dynamic event with the reveal of this new art that was going to come about. Talk about your thoughts and how the music industry is today with it being a singles market and kicking out so much content back to back to back.
Well, I think the truth of the matter is, it does work. Like it does work for the people that it works for. However, you have the issue of quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? The truth of the matter, like I always say about art and with people in the public, the bottom line, nobody can release a song and it be number one if the people don't consume it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So even when we talk about like music that might be misogynistic or disrespectful or all those different things, if that's what the public is eating and wanting, then that's what's going to sell. You feel me? However, I feel like me personally, I hate to say it because art is subjective. I hate to say like I'm a real artist, but like me personally, I'm an artist that prefers quality over quantity. I prefer to have music that people can relate to, have music that people can truly get to know me, that I can be vulnerable and intimate. Um, and that doesn't come every day. Like it's better when it's marinated. You know what I mean? It's as humans, we're not machines, so we gotta live some things to create some things for you to feel.
Mm-hmm.
We got, as you just saw, the 100 albums. Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was the number one album of of all albums or whatever that list was. She hasn't had an album since. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but it stood the test. It's still, you still can't really find an album that will touch it. But she had to live so much in her life to create that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent. It's like, damn, who has really touched that album since it's been out? It's been over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you gotta open that door. So as it being a singles market, it's like you also can't fight what was going. That's another thing I learned. We can't fight the 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 change of the times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but what you can do is do what's authentic and what's true to you, and that way whoever's belonging to you is going to come to you because in a society where everybody dropping singles, there's still some people looking for albums, and then that opened the door for what you offer. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about staying in your lane, doing what you believe in, and following your heart. That sounds cliche as hell, but it's really true.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah, like that's my thing. Like my album, it's been 2 years, but it's 23 songs on my album. So what I'm doing now is I'm treating every song like it's a single. I gave you an album, a great, phenomenal album. Download 23, the album. It's a great project. Gave you the album, but now I'm gonna give you some videos. I'm gonna give you some acoustic versions. I'm gonna give you some remixes. I'm gonna give you some performances, and I'm gonna put visuals. And whoever loves it, and whoever connects to it is gonna connect to it. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I'm inspired to do. I'm still painting my picture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
So because you brought it up early, let's go into it. Let's talk about 23.
That's my baby. That's my baby. 23
Why?
is
What? Okay. Why is it your baby?
23
Why?
changed my life. 23 changed my life. My whole entire life. Well, just a quick 23 is the name of my album. It was released on my mother's 50th, what would have been her 50th birthday, which is May 7th, 2022. I was inspired because my mom was murdered when she was 23. I was 6. And when her 23rd death anniversary was approaching, I had a newfound grief of like, damn, she would be gone for as long as she was alive. And for people that have lost a parent, you go through two things. You go through, or probably other, maybe people that lost a kid or whatever too. But with people that lost a parent, you go through the thing that I'm gonna die when my parent, that age, whatever age that parent was, when they die is when you think you want to die. Ask anybody who lost their parent. That's one. And the second thing is you think about how they've been gone for as long as they was alive, especially if they passed young, like a person passed young. You'd be like, so I was like, dang, her 23rd death anniversary is coming. And that's so crazy to me. And it was like a newfound grief. And so I decided to come up with, in an attempt to be current with the times, I was like, I'm going to create 23 songs and I'm going to release a song a week for 6 months. That was initially the plan. But I said, once I started creating a project, I was like, I love this album too much, and I'm gonna put it out. And I'm not putting it out to be this or that. I'm putting it out to give people a body of work, and the right people that's supposed to hear it will hear it. And so the circumstances of my mom's death was that she was in a classic domestic violence situation. I was abused as well in that situation, but I was too young to truly grieve and understand it as a kid. And as I got older, nothing was ever hit or nothing was ever withheld from me. But I just, as an adult, was able to understand. And so I started to do research on what actually happened, like what actually happened that night, like how it went down, who was with her, which friends was with her, where was she going, what was the situation, what was the restraining order. My situation in particular was my mom had a restraining order from her ex-boyfriend who was an abuser, and he had been stalking her, and he got locked up, and then the judge let him out the same day, and that same day he killed my mom. And it's like a movie, bro, because the judge, where I'm from, is a small town. The judge went to school with my grandmother. The judge knew my family, and the judge knew his whole family. And he got let out on a Friday night, the weekend of Thanksgiving. It's like, what judge, let somebody. But anyway, I got to dig into all of that. And once I had certain conversations with certain people, and once I created the album and released the album, is when another level. I think I wrote a post about it today about how I never experienced the kind of healing through just telling my story. I never understood that. I never accepted that concept. But by telling my mom's story and telling my story, it has truly helped me heal. And I always tell people, time does not heal all wounds. That's a lie. You will always miss that person. But it's something about telling your story and talking about it that adds another level of healing. So 23 is literally 23 songs on the album. The song is the title. The album is titled after song 23, where it's basically in the words of my mom of what her last words could have been. I don't know the medical term, but my mom could have been saved, but she died from loss of blood. She bled to death basically from all her stab wounds.
Exsanguination.
Exsanguination. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. And I just wrote that song thinking what her last words would have been as she laid there, until her last breath. Um, and the song was so painful that I probably recorded it maybe 2 years before I released the album, and I was not able to listen to it at all. It was just like really dark song, really, really dark. And that's the album. That's 23, but it's not all songs about her. It's about me and my relationships with women, my relationships I've experienced growing up, just all those different things. And so it's some R&B on there, it's some Christian music on there, it's some reggae, some Afrobeat, some opera, some doo-wop. I truly explored because this was the first album that I ever produced. I taught myself how to produce on this album. All my other projects, I wasn't a musician, and when I was a musician, I wasn't able to produce. So this is the first time that I had no collaborators. I wrote everything, I produced everything, I mixed everything, and it took me a lot of time, but it's the most authentic to me. So a lot of it is discovery, and just what I was going through and relationship I was in at the time, and just yeah. So 23 is like my proudest baby. And so here we are to circle back on your original question. It's no way in the world you can tell me that, oh, you put that album out, you need to come out with something. It's no way in the world. That album means so much to me. And I know that it's millions of people that haven't heard it. So y'all about to get acoustic versions of some of the songs. You get music videos. You getting live performances. You getting, I might have a song and then a piano version and then a guitar version. PJ Morton gonna release the album and a live album and a piano album. Every album he come out with, you feel me? So why can't I? You know what I'm saying? Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
And I've learned that like sometimes people like your acoustic better than they like your original. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
True.
I'm just getting it out, and that's what I'm born to do is to create, and that's what's inspiring me. So directing visuals and creating different things is just what I want to do, and so that's kind of the era I'm in right now. And people will discover it when they discover it. You know.
Right. Right. I'm not going to ask you if you have a favorite song from the album, but do you have a favorite song that you like to perform?
Well, my favorite song from the album keeps changing.
Mm.
My favorite song that I like to perform is Perfume. Perfume is the doo-wop song. It's so like James Brown and Usher and like Prince and like it's so yeah, like me. Like I feel like these last couple of years after learning guitar and piano, a lot of times, a lot of my performances, especially with telegrams, is like I'm always doing acoustic stuff. But I miss, when I had dancers and I could dance and just do my splits and do my choreo and all of that. So uh, Perfume is like my favorite song to sing because I can play my guitar solo, I can dance, I can sing, all within that song. Um,
Nice.
but I'll answer the other question that you didn't want to ask because this week my favorite song is BDE. Y'all gotta check that joint out. It's crazy. it's fire.
Why? Why?
Because it's the most recent song I recorded on that album. That was the last song I recorded. It bumped a different song, and I'm just in that era where I'm on my grown man shit. Like it's because I grew up kind of like a church boy. You know, I
Hmm.
grew up in singing in choirs. I grew up, always as like Brother Jamai, you know what I'm saying? And it took me a while to come into my manhoodness and like truly be okay with being sexually objectified, to be okay with being looked at a certain way. Um,
Hmm.
and like I'm just comfortable in singing and talking and possessing more of a grown man's vibe and image. And so
Yeah.
BDE is very, very grown. It's very baby making. It's very R&B. It's very like sensual, and I like that because that's what I'm on. I'm on that. I'm on that R&B shit now. You know what I mean? Like, what's up? What's up? That's why I think the album helped me get out because it's like,
Right.
bruh, it's doo wop, it's this, it's that. Because I had so much to get out. So now I'm like, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
Shout out a local legend. Ashley Scott is in the room. What's up, Ashley? You and I
the
need to
great
talk, brother.
Ashley, the great Ashley. It's been years, brother. It's been years. Great to see
Another dope musician. He's pretty
you. Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Great Ashley. I love Ashley.
Yeah. What does that mean to you to have the camaraderie from peers? You know, other great musicians that love what you do. What does that do for you?
I think it is. It's interesting because I feel like it's good in any industry to be able to relate to other peers. Because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a musician, if you're a businessman, it's in there. I don't know how to get it, but just give me a second. But it's you finally can be around people or relate to people that know the struggle or know what you're going through. I was just talking to one of my homies, Dominic Patrick. I don't know if you know him. Great vocalist, R&B dude from Philly, can sing his behind off. And we can just we can just, you know what I mean, talk about the politics and all the things that come along with being an artist and just trying to take care of your family and trying to pay your bills, but still trying to move forward or whatever. And I think more than anything, because I'm a fan of music, I don't really need too many accolades. I just like being around other talented people. Like if you fire, if you lit, if you got a great song or you got a great project or whatever, I'm more of a fan of you than anything. And
Yeah.
I like to sing your songs. I like to promote you. I like whatever. So I just like to be around talented people. That's like my high. You know what I mean? I want to hear you sing. I
Yeah.
want your show, hear you sing that shit. Like I'm like I was telling somebody, I'm like Buddy Love in the Nutty Professor, where he was like, ah, that's me. Like that's me in the audience at all your shows. Because if you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't, if you lit, I'm trying to support you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What I normally ask from my guests is a point of manifestation, and I would like for you to put something into the universe for yourself, or not necessarily even for yourself. It's just in general, whatever comes to your heart and your mind, manifest something.
wow. Thank you for the opportunity because I do it daily, but I don't do it publicly, and I think it can add an extra fire to it, you know. So I'll take this time to be vulnerable and express what my daily uh, what I manifest daily is. I'm truly thankful that I make $23,000 a week through my business. I'm truly thankful that I am headlining and selling out 60,000 seat arenas all across the world. And I'm truly thankful that I get to perform and do what I love and be an influence across the world to be a blessing and change people's lives. That's what I say every day. Help me,
Mhm.
help me to have the habits, the ingenuity, the professionalism, the integrity to earn $23,000 a week. I want to be able. Oh, and I got a few more. The other ones are I want to have 100 million. I manifest 100 million Spotify listeners a month, and I want. Uh, and I'm thankful that that Wind It Up is the #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for 23 weeks straight. Those are my manifestations that I never said publicly. I say them every day.
I love that.
We can
I'm
think
going
it's
to share a
small. We
story
can
with
think
you.
it's small, but you got to think big. Real talk though, like
So, in the past, when I've asked my guests to manifest something, in some way, shape, or form, those things have come into fruition. With the last being um, Alexis Jones from Brownstone has an eyeglass line. Well, actually, a whole accessory line. And what she manifested on this show was that she would be able to sell her eyeglasses internationally. And I wouldn't even say a month after she was featured in the Parisian Harper's Bazaar. And then now it's taken off. She's been in Vogue. She's been in Italy. She's in Paris. Like she's doing the damn thing. So
so. You must have the anointing.
it's not me. I'm not taking credit for that.
Hey, man.
I think that I'm coming with great intent because I think my intention is pure, and I hope that this provides a vessel for those things to you know
Thank
happen.
you, man. Thank you, and I think
Yeah.
I truly. So right before we did this interview, I prayed and I said, God, I thank you, and I just prayed because I never want to get to a space where I don't recognize somebody in this scenario. That somebody is you was interested enough in what I have going on and wanted to ask me about what I do and what I talk about. And hopefully, I'm thinking, hopefully, did their research and all those different things. But, and obviously, you did. But I just never want to be, I always want to be in a space where I recognize my blessings with everything that's not going right, or everything that hasn't happened for me yet. Help me, God, to be sober enough in the current moment to be grateful. And
Mm,
so that was my prayer because I wanted my energy and my temperament to be right.
mm,
You know, I wanted
mm,
to translate gratitude to you. I wanted to all those different things. You know what I'm saying? Not for nothing that you could do for me or none of that, whatever, but just for the sake of like somebody actually is interested in what you're doing. And that
mhm,
alone is enough to be grateful for. And so you with the pure intention, because I do deny interviews as well because I don't like doing stuff for people that are not going to do their research or that are not genuinely interested. And I just knew
mhm.
from the vibe of us knowing of each other for so many years that this will be a safe space. And I'm just grateful, man. And I know that you, with your intention, is like what can propel somebody to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
truly grateful, man. Thank you.
My homie, the great Miss Faith Evans, gave me well, it's her quote, but I apply it to my life, and she says, "If you're coming from the right place, you can't go wrong." And I try to live by that. And if your intention is good and pure, and you have faith, there's no way that you're going to end up in a
For
bad
sure.
place.
For sure. The Bible says if you do good, you get good. You know what I mean? Just do good.
That part.
Just do good, man.
That part.
I truly believe that. I truly, truly believe that, man. Because, yeah, so I'm grateful, man. I'm I'm thankful. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
thank you, man. Truly, because
Absolutely.
shit ain't easy, man.
Any people you want to shout out?
Who I want to shout out? Who I want to shout out? Shout out to my manager. Shout out to that's it. Just my manager. I guess my head is blank, right? My mind is blank at the time. But shout out to everybody that has ever supported me. Everybody
Mhm.
that believes in me, and everybody that speaks well of me when I'm not around. That is praying for me. That's speaking well of me. That's thinking of me. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the negative or who not supporting or whatever. But thank you for everybody that has continuously believed in me throughout the years, and that even if they ain't still supporting me, they supported me at one time or
Right.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all, man, my supporters, man. Real rap.
And also tell people where they can follow you and find your music.
You can follow me right here at JAMAI Music. So Jamai Music on just about TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can stream my music. You can stream my album 23 spelled out 23 and all of my other music on all music platforms. And if you want to learn more about me and or my Singing Telegram business, you can go to jamai.me, JAMAI.me, my website where you can learn all about me. And if you want to sing in Telegram, follow me at J Telegrams, JTELEGRAMS. On TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I got thousands of singing Telegram videos, singing to hundreds of different people with a bunch of different reviews of my service. I deliver a luxury singing Telegram experience with a variety of amenities such as chocolates, roses, wine, and it's always a magical time. Any song, any time, any place.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Brother, I wish you nothing but
Thank
success,
you.
and I appreciate you and thank you. I have a saying that I say art matters, but great art inspires. And thank you.
God bless you, man. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to being able to say I was on a show before the billions and trillions and millions and all the different syndication and all the different podcast numbers before that even rolled in. I was blessed to be able to be on the show before all the big superstars was. Not
I
that you haven't
appreciate you
had,
for
not that you haven't had some superstars on it, because you snuck that in there like, yeah, my homie Faith Evans, like, yeah, we was just on the phone and like, okay, like, yeah,
and but you know what? It's I'm not making it light, but in the big scheme of things, that stuff doesn't mean anything because it's about the relationships for me. And, you know, I picked you because something about you resonated to me about your art. That's why you're here.
yeah,
And you just happen to be a cool
yeah,
person.
yeah. Thank you, man. I'm truly
Yeah.
honored, man. I'm truly honored to just be
Yeah.
recognized for what I do. You know what I'm saying? For what I was passionate to me. So. And I'm among great company. So, and you got great taste because you best friends with Faith Evans. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like I'm best friends. But yeah, man, thank you, bro. I truly appreciate it, man. And I'm praying and looking forward to all your more success as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Big blessings to you, brother. Definitely stream 23. Check him out, brother. Thank you for sharing your awesome talent. And thank you for your candidness and sharing your story with
Thank
us.
you, man. Thank you. Thank you
All right.
all. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful weekend and y'all stay safe out there.
All right, brother.
My man, I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Take care.
Bro, take care.